and almost went, you know? So.
We talk about reconciliation. You obviously have Chris, Meek, Tory, Puff to an extent, you know, and things have been exasperated by Pusha. At this point in your career, in your life, do you think you could ever squash things or mend things with him?
Well, you know, I'm at a great healing place in my life, which is why all those people you mentioned, that I really never, when I really break down the issues, when I started to sort of stop thinking from such a confrontational, paranoid, violent standpoint, I started to just really break down, what's our issue again? What is this over again? Like, it's over a fight we had in like 2009, or it's over it's over the fact that we're from the same city, or it's over, I was able to, to mend a lot of those situations. A lot of people ask me like, yo, why? And, like I said, it's just not a fun life when you have to just look over your shoulder all the time, or wonder, all right, if this goes left, which one of my friends is gonna go sit for 2, 3, 4, 10 years? It's just not, it's not a good way to live. In that particular situation that you're talking about, don't know. I have no desire to ever mend anything with that person. And yeah, that situation just went, it just went where it went, and it's just, there's no turning back. It's not like those other situations that you mentioned.
Did Pusha go too far by revealing the child and presenting that to the world?
Well, I'll say this. I tip my hat to the chess move. I mean, it was a genius play in the game of chess. And definitely, warranted my first quote unquote, loss in the competitive sport of rapping. By choice, obviously, because I bowed out after realizing like the gap between us allowed him to drop, a bomb on the world that really became, that was all anyone cared about. I sleep well at night knowing I didn't get outbarred and I didn't get, dunned off by some crazy song it was just, he told the world that the biggest artist at the time has a kid that he hasn't told you about. So I knew kind of for me it was over at that point. It wasn't even about battle rap or any of that. It was just the information was too shocking. It was, like I said, on his part, it was a genius chess move. He obviously has no when it comes to me, he's not gonna have any morals or respect. So the other elements of the record, whether it be just the shit that he's making up about my mom and my dad and all this dumb shit, or obviously the part that hit me the most, which is wishing that my friend that has an illness dies. That shit to me is just not really wavy. I'm just not really with that. And when I did say, oh, there's rules to this, I didn't mean there's rules that anybody has to follow. But in battle rap, they just headshotted that guy the other day because he was on stage and he pulled out a picture of the guy's dead aunt and started rapping about, that type of shit. And it just is what it is. There's a point where you're gonna wanna stop rapping. I'm sure I could say something.
Do you look at it though as like a sidebar almost to the biggest conflict, which is the ups and downs of your relationship with Kanye West at the end of the day?
I think that that's where all of this kind of stems from. It's all kind of rooted in that situation, yes. I think that he definitely recruited a guy with a similar dislike for me, no matter what he says in interviews, I know that he can tell whoever, I got love for him and whatever, but it's not love, it's there's something there that bothers him deeply. And yeah, I can't fix it for him. So it just is what it is. I can never, ever, ever, ever turn my back on the things that I've said about him in a positive light, and I still feel all those same things.
You picked him up earlier in this conversation.
Yeah, he's still my, obviously with the exception of Lil Wayne, just because Lil Wayne will always just forever be something else other than one of my favorite artists. But and if I look at Hove as the guy who truly probably shaped majority of my thinking, skill set, all those things, I would say that Kanye West would be my favorite artist, all around, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just facts. I mean, I have no problem saying that. It's not like I'm always willing, like I said, I'm always willing to give the love and the credit. But yeah, things have just changed. I'm not just some kid that's a fan anymore. And now we have personal situations. And like I said, a lot of his issues with me, I can't fix them for him.
But would you be open to communication?
No, not really, because it's not on my end. I have no problem with any of these guys. I don't even know these guys like that. I have no problem with these guys.
One last thing though, with Sicko Mode is a song. It seemed like in December he went on a Twitter rant and he started to feel like those lines were directed at him.
Of course, though. Of course. I'm not, like, I can't lie to you. Of course they were. But it's also, you know, like I said, this is a sport at the end of the day, and you know from a very early point, I've never shied away from defending myself. And I'm also sometimes